Hi everybody, it's Sherry Genesis. I have a new video. I would like to do the author tag video. It's a series of questions to help you get to know me better as a author. And I hope we can all connect and be friends. Question number 1, how did you find out about Authortube? I've actually been watching Authortube for quite a while now, actually. I even had the idea to start a channel geared towards authors before I even knew what Authortube was, way back when YouTube first started. So to see that others took the initiative and went ahead and did it, it was just amazing. And I've been watching the community for a while, and now I've decided to step out and pursue my dreams. So now I'm also joining the community. So hopefully we can all connect more. Question number 2, what genres do you write in? Currently, my work in progress at the moment, my current manuscript is it's like a splice, I guess. I write mostly fantasy and historical fiction, but the current manuscript I'm working now is the subgenre of historical fiction, which I'm excited about. So more on that to come. Question number 3, what is your preferred writing tense, point of view, and category of story? For example, children's, YA, NA, etc. My favorite writing tense, I would say, is third person, omniscient. Mostly because majority of my stories have so many different characters and plots. Sometimes it's hard to get in every head without head hopping, especially when you know so much about your characters and you want to show everything, but obviously you can't do that. So I've really started getting into third person limited. I'm sorry, third person deep, sorry. To just flesh out the main characters while still trying to give a full balanced character profile of other characters as well. As far as my favorite genre to write in, my current manuscript is actually a YA. But it's going to start as a YA and then kind of morph, if that makes sense. But she starts off at 16, but by the end of the story, she's actually going to be a new adult. So I like to mix and dabble, toss things up. Question number 4, are you a plotter, pantser, or plantser? I am definitely a plantser. I used to think I was a plotter, but I mean, I definitely need that structure. Without that structure, I'm totally lost. I need to know exactly where I need the story to head, and then allow myself to be more flexible and open with everything else as it comes along. And I find once I give myself structure, I can break the structure and then get into more fluid writing. And I think that's where my creativity tends to flow the most. Question 5, are you a self-published, published, or yet to be published? I am yet to be published. Coming this fall, my poetry collection will be coming out. A little Closer to the Sun is what it's called. And then I'm also currently working on my manuscript for, again, my historical fantasy novel that's in progress right now, The Heir of Two Thrones. So I'm not yet published, but I'm planning to go the self-publishing route. And I found a lot of great advice on here, which is why I really wanted to, get in to kind of add my 2 cents to the community, as well as learn and glean and grow with others as well. Question number 6, what publishing company, literary agent, and or printing company are you represented by or use? If you're not published, what is your dream publishing house or literary agent? I wouldn't necessarily say I have a dream publishing house. Random House is cool. Penguin Books, but I wouldn't necessarily I have a dream publisher, but I read them all and I like them all. So if one of them wants to work with me, hey, but I just like anywhere I can find a good story. I love a good story that hooks you. I like to know that I'm watching a movie in my head, even though I'm reading a book on the page. I want to feel like I'm watching a movie in my head. So I wouldn't necessarily say I have a dream publishing house, but I like them. I like them all. What Authortube related videos can we expect to find on your channel? So, little tidbit, I am a spoken word poet as well. Hence my poetry collection is coming out soon. So I feel like writing advice, while there will be some on my channel, definitely, I feel like there's a vast plethora of information out there and good information out there that don't really need my 2 cents. So you'll mostly find, working on my current whip and spoken word poetry, of course. So it's going to be more geared towards poetry because that's more of a performing outlet. But there will definitely be some writing advices as well. There'll definitely be some writing advice as well. Question number 8. When did you start writing? I started writing when I was 7 years old. That's a funny story. I like to joke around and say that I am the weirdest kid ever, because my writing story may not be as normal as others and how I got into it. So it's a long story, but it's not really long, but it's an interesting story how I got into writing. But I started writing at 7 and I've been hooked ever since. Question number 9. What was the first story you ever wrote? Oh gosh, okay, so when I was in the 3rd grade, I know, way back. When I was in the 3rd grade, I wrote a story called A Fish Called Akeem. We had a class project that we had to work on where all of the kids, had to write their own little story. And my story at, my 3rd grade class, it went all the way up to the principal. The principal really liked it, sent it out to the county, and I ended up winning a Young Authors Award in the 3rd grade for my little book, A Fish Called Akeem. My mom still has it somewhere. Maybe if I go over to her house one day, I'll pick it up and show you guys, because it's hilarious that, my little scribble scrabble won the Young Authors Award in 3rd grade. So, but that's an interesting story too. And then my first, oh gosh, I've written so many official stories. But my current manuscript, I would say that if I had to choose one official story, I would say my current manuscript, The Heir to Thrones. That is my official foray into authorhood. And that's an interesting story as well. And I plan on doing a video about that because I want to also inspire young authors not to make the same mistake that I did concerning this. But that's a story for another time. Let's see. What authors have inspired your writing the most? I love Agatha Christie. Believe it or not, I love Agatha Christie. And I write predominantly, like I said, historical fantasy. but I love Agatha Christie. So you never know when that influence will just sneak its way in. Question number, oh gosh, I'm having so much fun. I lost my place. Question number 11. Do you schedule your writing sessions or simply get to writing whenever you can find the time? Okay, so I don't have a set schedule. I don't get up and say, okay, from 7 to 8, I'm going to write. And I know that's bad. It's so bad because as a writer, you really should have that, but that just don't work for my life. So, before COVID, working on my manuscript, I would definitely say when I came home from work, I would try and get some writing in, and then of course over the weekend. But let me tell you about COVID. Ms. Rona, listen, Ms. Rona is terrible, but the time that is allowed is great. And I think other authors could really, see the benefit of it too. I was able to get so much done and still working on more too. So I don't have a set schedule, but my output has, I would say, quadrupled during this time. Because what else we gonna do? We in the house. Ms. Rona is not playing. Let's see. Question number 12. Do you type on a computer, typewriter, write everything out by hand, or a blend of those? So when it comes to like my novels, I definitely write them on my computer. I make too many mistakes when I'm typing to do a typewriter. That's just too much for my life. That's too much for my life right now. So I don't really do anything on a typewriter. So Word, I would say, is my saving grace when it comes to writing my manuscripts. However, when I am writing my poetry, it must be by hand. There's just something about poetry that requires handwriting to me. Like, no shade to anybody that writes it on the computer. I just can't do it because for me, my when I'm writing poetry is more like a stream of consciousness. And even though I have a terrible propensity to rhyming, but for me, poetry needs to be written by hand, and that's just how I flow with it, and that's how it comes out for me. Question number 3. Oh, I missed the part here. And where do you write in general? In my couch, at my desk, in my bed, at the kitchen counter while I'm eating. When I'm on the road driving, I'll take out my voice notes and if an idea comes, it's going in the voice note while I'm driving, or I'll have like a little notebook with me and I'll write. It's something that you just when you're a writer, you just know, like, you just gotta write, so anywhere, anytime, even though I have a set time, I write. So question number 13, what are you looking forward to now that you're part of Authortube? For me, I am looking forward to community. I don't have a lot of fellow writers around me since I left uni, so I'm looking for that author community where hopefully we can all, y'all are already doing it, but I'm looking for community, and I'm hoping that I can continue to grow watching, my other favorite author tubers and even booktubers, and just growing as an author and as a poet too, because we tend to separate the two art forms, but there is a silver thread that connects them both. So, and hopefully, you know, I can be an inspiration to someone else. You know, like I said, there's another video I want to do about, you know, to encourage young authors not to make the mistakes that I made, you know, to really push out, branch out, and go for your dreams, because life, we only get one of it, you know, and we got to make the most of it. So create something that lasts longer than you. This is Sherry Genesis. Go Chronicles. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.